So many creative people talk about the importance of failure, right? The fact that it's okay to make mistakes during the creative process. That to do anything creative, you've got to take a risk. Some kind of cognitive disinhibition is necessary. You need to cross the streams. You need to cross the wires just a little bit, right? A little bit of madness is necessary to connect the dots in a new way, right? Isaiah Berlin famously said, "To understand is to perceive patterns." That's in essence what creativity is. Steve Jobs says creativity is just connecting things. But in order to see patterns, and rather in order to recombine existing patterns into new forms and new shapes, you need to be willing to blur the boundaries between your thoughts, right? To be an associational thinker, right? To freestyle, to ride a butterfly effect in thought. But again, most of the time we play it safe, right? We map out what we're gonna say. We pre-plan what we're gonna do. We make a list. We have a set of steps. We are prepared. We've pre-scripted our speech, right? We are responsible. We're not going into a situation blind. But again, once in a while, my friends, we need to be willing to make a mistake. We need to be willing to fail. It is only when we risk making a mistake that we might find ourselves improvising, inventing, innovating our way back to where we want to get to. Do you understand what I'm saying? Think of this rant as a metaphor for the creative process, right? I have somewhat an idea of what I want to say, right? It's related to creativity and it's related to cognitive disinhibition and being willing to make a mistake. That's all I know. Then I start jamming about this, and what happens is I might lose myself in some chain of thought, right? I just kind of lose myself in the moment. The metaphor might like confound me, and before I know it, I don't even remember what I was saying, but somehow that's when the creativity kicks in. Because somehow I've got to bring it back. I've got to rope it in. I've got to remember where I'm going. I've got to summon coherence, right? In the bardos between one statement and the other. And in doing so, and in risking screwing up the video and the take, it is in that risk that the courage, that the innovation, that the creativity, that the original thought might emerge, and usually does. And before I know it, I've landed and I feel like, wow, man, I just took a trip, man. You know, I just sailed into the great unknown and I brought it back, and here we are. That is what creativity is all about. That is the risk. That is the willingness to fail and make a mistake that is crucial to the creative process. So to all my fellow thinkers, writers, painters, poets, original doers out in the world trying to come up with an original vision, trying to impact humanity through their art and their artistry, go forth, but be willing to fail. Be willing to make a mistake. Pick up the pieces and try again. It is a ride and we're all in it together, my friends. And if we love each other and respect each other and tolerate each other's failures and failings, we will get to a much better, much higher, much more holy place. And isn't that awesome?